Hello, I'm Mike Cleary, and welcome to Happy New You. Several years ago, I was listening to a church message, and the topic that the minister was focusing on was that of abundance. Well, I don't remember much of the talk itself, but there was one particular phrase that he used that resonated with me and stayed with me over the years. The man said, "Don't let your good get in the way of your great." I found that philosophy to be quite profound. Don't let your good get in the way of your great. All too often, we latch on to that which is comfortable and familiar because it's something we like. And we tell ourselves, there's no point in looking any further. I sometimes have to laugh when I would go to a restaurant with a friend who would say, "I always order the same thing because I know what I like." Causes me to wonder, how did he discover that he liked that particular item to begin with? He had to take a chance and order it the first time. Quite often, when folks find what they like, they stop taking risks and stay with what's familiar. Well, following along the same lines of that restaurant illustration, imagine yourself at an all-you-can-eat buffet, and the very first item you encounter is meatloaf. And you say, "Hey, I love meatloaf. This is what I want." So you stick with what you're comfortable and familiar with, and you ignore the rest. This is a perfect analogy for life. So much of what is offered to us is missed because we don't want to challenge ourselves to take risks and try something different. In order for us to embrace the concept of abundance, we have to accept the belief that there's more out there. Imagine if you went to this very same buffet again, but this time they had no meatloaf. Oh no, it's the end of the world. What's the use of going on if there's no meatloaf? Now, I admit this analogy is a bit absurd, but it does help to illustrate how some folks can put all their eggs in one basket, to have their whole world revolve around the good that they already have and not acknowledge the great that they can have. One mantra I often repeat to myself is, this or something better. You can set your sights on a goal or an anticipated outcome, but don't allow it to destroy you if things don't work out the way you planned. Imagine if you had a penny in your hand and you're clutching it securely in your fist. You don't want to lose it, so you hold on to that coin ever so tightly. Can you accept any more? No. You have to open your hand in order to receive more. Opening yourself up to having more may mean risking losing what you're already holding tight in your grip. That's why folks don't like to take chances. They don't want to lose what they already have. They don't want to give up their good for what may be even better. People tend to have tunnel vision when it comes to their lives and their careers in particular. They get disenchanted or dismayed about their jobs, but they don't want to look for anything else. They feel they may get in trouble if their boss finds out that they were looking for another job. Like the penny clutched in your fist, you can't accept a bag of gold coins if you don't open your palm and risk losing that single penny. 5 years ago, my wife Sharon and I wanted to adopt a dog from the animal shelter. She and I spend a lot of time on the road, and we wanted a small dog that would be able to come along on our adventures. Well, Sharon found a cute little female Royal Pomeranian that she named Zoe. It was a tiny dog with red fur and a long plumed tail. And Zoe looked like a cute little miniature fox. Unfortunately, the dog must have been abused by the previous owners, and Zoe proved to be very skittish around me. Normally, animals of all sorts love to be around me, but Zoe didn't want any part of me. Sharon was devastated when she had to take Zoe back. About a month later, we discovered Quinn, a small half-terrier, half-chihuahua mix, and we immediately adopted him. Quinn loves to travel and has visited nearly half the country with us over the last few years. Just because Zoe didn't work out didn't mean it was the end of the world and that we had to stop searching for a furry companion. We had to open ourselves up to other possibilities in order to accept Quinn into our lives. I have to admit that sometimes I set my sights on one single outcome, and I get angry or frustrated when things don't work out the way I planned them to. I have to remind myself that there must be something better waiting around the corner. Just because things didn't work out the way I planned, there's no reason to beat myself up about it. I have to tell myself that at least I tried something that didn't work. No big deal. Move on to the next project. I'm sure you heard about Thomas Edison and his efforts in creating the incandescent light bulb. It is said that he tried 10,000 different ways before he achieved success. A reporter asked Edison what it felt like to fail 10,000 times. Edison replied, "I didn't fail. I successfully found 10,000 ways that didn't work." The inventor had to explore many new ways before he found the winning combination. I remember watching my favorite television program called Perception. And the series only lasted 3 seasons and it ended a few years ago. The show starred Eric McCormick as a schizophrenic college professor who helps the FBI solve cases. In this one particular episode, a college student sustains a head injury and is devastated to learn that he can no longer play football. He believed his entire world was crashing down around him. The doctor told him, "Just because your dream has come to an end doesn't mean your life is over. It means it's time to find yourself another dream." Sometimes my wife Sharon and I like to participate in the practice of treasure mapping or listing the things that you want to manifest in your life. You can make a collage of photos and sayings from magazine clippings and post it somewhere in your home to visually remind yourself of what you desire. Or you can simply make a list of things that you want or you don't want. Okay. Sharon did that with her first house. She itemized what it was she wanted in a home and pictured it in her mind. This visualization technique solidified in her mind what it was that she wished to receive. However, don't be too rigid or specific in naming your goals and desires. Something even better than what you imagine may be waiting out there for you. Take, for example, the young man who desperately wanted a new car. He dreamed and fantasized about owning a lime green Volkswagen Beetle. His parents saw his dismay and wanted to help, and they bought him a brand new silver, top-of-the-line Mercedes-Benz. The young man sighed ruefully and said, "Well, it's no lime green Volkswagen Beetle." He had his mind locked onto one specific outcome, and he couldn't accept anything else. The universe is filled with abundance. Like the unclenched fist, you have to be open and receptive to abundance if you want to receive it. So remind yourself, this or something better. And don't let your good get in the way of your great. Of course, you know I have to have a song, and the song is about prosperity and abundance. Folks spend all their lives seeking riches, to gather great wealth why they may. And all that glitters that gold, or so I've been told. Don't ignore how you're blessed with this day. How can you measure prosperity? The answer's quite simple, you see. Good health, fine friends, and great memories. That's riches aplenty for me. You can spend your life making a living. Who decides when enough is enough? Well, I don't have much money, and you may find it funny, but I value this day more than stuff. So how do you measure prosperity? The answer's quite simple, you see. Good health, fine friends, and great memories. That's riches aplenty for me. Think about what you deem as important. There's just so many hours in a day. Kids grow up so fast. Joyous moments won't last. Don't let those precious times slip away. How can you measure prosperity? The answer's quite simple, you see. Good health, fine friends, and great memories. That's riches aplenty for me. Good health, fine friends, and great memories. That's riches aplenty for me. We'll be right back after these announcements.
Bella Vista Community Television presents our sponsor appreciation. Audrey's Resale Boutique, located in Forest Hills. Find the perfect item for your home decor. Beautiful collections, quality clothing, and more. Make your dreams come true at Audrey's.
Welcome back to Happy New You, and thank you for tuning in to Bella Vista Community Television. I once was playing guitar at a social gathering, and a woman mentioned to me that she tried to learn to play guitar, but she decided that she wasn't any good at it, so she gave it up. How many times have we heard someone say, "Tried it once, but I wasn't good at it"? Or maybe we use that reason on ourselves. We give a half-hearted effort and determine it isn't something worth pursuing. We aren't a success the first time, so we give up. The things you want in life don't always come easy, but if you want them bad enough, you put in the time and effort to make those dreams a reality. Have you ever seen little kids playing t-ball? T-ball is a super easy version of baseball for little kids. Instead of pitching the ball to the batter, the ball is stationary, perched on top of a post, like a golf ball on a golf tee, thus the name T-ball. All the child has to do is swing the bat at the stationary ball and knock it off. Surprisingly, sometimes the kids miss when they swing at the bat with the ball. No matter, but they get to try again. Wouldn't it be great if life was capable of throwing us a curveball and that ball was sitting right there and not imposing, not threatening, not intimidating? And we could take care of it in our own sweet time. No hurries, no worries, no pressure. And if we missed, we could take another swing at it. In the Star Wars movie, The Empire Strikes Back, Master Yoda is teaching young Luke Skywalker to master his powers. When challenged with a seemingly impossible task, Luke responds, "I'll try." Yoda chastises the boy and says, "Do or not do. There is no try." Maybe you gave up because you didn't do it right the first time. Maybe you didn't have the right equipment, or maybe you needed more instruction. I once tried to cut off a tree limb with a dull, rusty old handsaw. It wasn't cutting well, and the job seemed to take forever. The project became much more exhausting and more frustrating than I anticipated, and I swore I would never do that again. Perhaps we give up because it's too hard. But the issue may be that maybe we weren't doing it right. There was a scene in the film Young Sherlock Holmes where Holmes and Watson meet for the first time as schoolboys. Holmes is frustrated at his playing of the violin and he curses, "I should have mastered it by now." Watson asks how long Sherlock has been playing the instrument, to which Holmes replies, 3 days. Don't give up on the first try. Another baseball reference I would like to use is a country song by Kenny Rogers. He tells the story of a boy who tosses the ball into the air and swings a bat at it, only to miss it completely. The lad tries again and misses, and the third time, results are the same. The kid swung 3 times and never hit the ball. Undaunted, the boy smiles and says, "Boy, I must be a great pitcher. I just pitched a no-hitter." Do you know what a mulligan is? A mulligan is a golfing term for a free do-over. It's like when you miss a short putt, you can say, "I want to take a mulligan," and you get to do it over without penalty. There was a t-shirt I saw that said, "I never think before I speak. I just like to be as surprised as everyone else by what comes out of my mouth." Perhaps I can get a t-shirt that reads, "Is it okay if I take a mulligan for that?" Whenever you do something you shouldn't have, or say something you instantly regret, perhaps you can say, "I'm taking a mulligan," and you can do it over again without penalty. Wouldn't it be great if we could take a mulligan in life? When we make a mistake, we can have a chance to do it over again. There's a movie I saw, it's called, where a young man discovers he can go back in time to change certain things that he had done, to give himself a mulligan, as it were. Now, I'm not going to give you a spoiler alert in case you haven't seen this particular movie yet. However, I can tell you that through several tries and a few errors, the young man comes to discover that perhaps he got it right the first time. You know, when folks say, "If I could go back and change things, this is what I would do differently." What if you indeed can go back, and this was your mulligan, your do-over to make things right? What if this very moment, you are living the life that you went back to fix? What if you did indeed have the do-over and were experiencing it right now? Perhaps this is your mulligan. You were given a second chance and are able to relive the past, to right a wrong, to do what you're supposed to do, and say the words that you want to say. Don't miss out on an opportunity to set things right, to tell someone that you care about them, or to help a person in need. After all, that's what a do-over is all about. Not just forgiveness for a mistake, like missing a putt on a golf course, but to do it again the right way. Remember those t-ball playing youngsters? This is your chance to swing until you get a hit. Don't be frustrated and give up just because you were unsuccessful the first time out. Take another swing at it. Like those little kids playing t-ball, swing until you hit. You never know. You might just make a home run. My wife Sharon occasionally comes up with some interesting Sharonisms that I like to repeat now and then. And she once said, you know, you don't need to have rain to see a rainbow. I said, that's very profound. I think I'll write a song about that. I stopped my car at a red light and glanced at the car next to mine. The young girl's crystal on her rear view mirror made rainbows with the sunshine. Well, you don't need rain to see a rainbow, or clouds for a silver lining too. You don't need rain to see a rainbow, 'cause rainbows are all around you. I went to a fancy dinner party and danced with my sweet held near. We moved through the ballroom, dazed in rainbows of lights from the crystal chandelier. You don't need rain to see a rainbow, or clouds for a silver lining too. You don't need rain to see a rainbow, 'cause rainbows are all around you. I sat on the floor with the children, coloring pictures with a big box of crayons. To my surprise, right before my eyes was a rainbow right in my hands. You don't need rain to see a rainbow, or clouds for a silver lining too. You don't need rain to see a rainbow, 'cause rainbows are all around you. So next time you need to see a rainbow to lift you up when you're blue, take a look around, there's plenty to be found, 'cause rainbows are all around you. 'Cause you don't need rain to see a rainbow, or clouds for a silver lining too. You don't need rain to see a rainbow, 'cause rainbows are all around you. No, you don't need rain to see a rainbow, or clouds for a silver lining too. You don't need rain to see a rainbow, 'cause rainbows are all around you. Those rainbows are all around you. Thank you for joining me for Happy New You. I'm Mike Cleary, and have a fabulous day.